Hi, I'm here to talk to you about attachment theory today, and where it actually came from. So, where it came from was psychologists, researchers, decided to do these experiments, which were called the strange situation experiments. And this is where they took, some infants between the ages of 0 to 2 years, and they observed these infants in different scenarios. And so the first scenario was observing how they responded when their caregiver was in the room, then observing them how, in terms of their responses when the caregiver left the room, and then observing them when the caregiver returned. Also observing them when the caregiver was in the room and a stranger, was around. So, the psychologists and researchers observed how different kids responded to these different scenarios, and in different ways. And what they found was kids primarily, they could categorize kids based on their responses in these scenarios into 4 different categories, and these categories were secure, anxious or preoccupied, it's also called preoccupied ambivalent or anxious, dismissive avoidant, and fearful avoidant. So fearful avoidant is also called disorganized sometimes. So researchers were able to sort of categorize these kids into these different categories, and based on how they responded to these different scenarios. So I'm going to tell you sort of one by one in these different videos, how the kids responded in these different scenarios, based on their attachment styles. Part 2.